Hey guys, it's Jeremy Ashburn, and hope you're having a great morning. It's such a beautiful day here. It's the fall time of year for us, so we love it here in the fall. Anyway, in this quick little video, I'm going to do an introduction to search engines. Okay, so we're going to be talking about search engines in this video. What are they? What are they used for? This is such a simple training that I kind of feel crazy doing this. But some people are like, well, they want to know. So we'll start with some real basic training. And then as we go along further, we'll be giving you more training about SEO and Google Ads, pay-per-click, and Facebook, and all that great stuff. So let's just get into this little training, and we'll just rock through this. It's going to be super fabulous. And then start my slideshow and share my screen. Here we go. So from the beginning. All right, so what is a search engine? So what we're going to be doing here is just kind of explaining what a search engine is, and explaining, that search engines are like catalogs and they're like Rolodexes, and then we'll actually be looking at examples of modern search engines, and also some old-fashioned search engines just for fun. So search engines, what are they? Essentially, they make a catalog of pages on the internet so that someone can easily find what they're looking for. And we'll talk about the history of search engines in the future, but essentially, the internet really started as a military kind of thing back in the 70s and 80s and started being used lightly by everyday businesses and other people in the 90s. And really, though, until search engines came out around 94, 95, there really wasn't a way to find anything on the internet. And so when search engines came out, it was like, okay, now people can find what they're looking for. So essentially, if you look at these, remember these old-fashioned catalogs? I think some people still use these. Maybe they're coming back in style. But that's a catalog. For me, I personally never used Rolodexes or catalogs. It was just like, what's the point of this thing? For me, the digital world has always made sense. But essentially, it's the same idea. A catalog or Rolodex works the same way, where you have a list of pages across the internet. The catalog has it. We search for it, and then we can find what we're looking for. And look at this Rolodex. I mean, that kind of scares me. like this old-fashioned Rolodex of like, what are we talking about here? So anyway, but that's the same idea. It's a catalog of pages. We're finding what we're working on, and off we go. So let's move on to the next one, and that is, let's look at, here's one more thing. It's a filing cabinet. So same idea. The internet is sort of millions and billions of pages, right? And search engines essentially do the same thing as a filing cabinet. So what I want to look at here real quick is some old-fashioned search engines. Yes, look at this thing, web crawler. This actually was a thing, or is a thing. I'm kind of like, shocked, seeing this. I never used web crawler, but, you can see it's kind of blocky and pixelated here. The old-fashioned monitors, didn't have the resolution we have now. But anyway, that was one of them. I actually used Lycos a little bit, but look at this screen. I mean, so many options and so many choices. I just really kind of hated using search engines really back in the 90s, because it was just like your eye went everywhere. It seemed like a newspaper out of control, basically. AltaVista, same kind of idea, was one of the early search engines. And you would search for things. The thing about these old search engines, ask Jeeves. I mean, this is like interesting. This was one of the ones before its time. You would ask a question and it would answer questions. But the thing about these search engines is none of them really worked amazing until Google came along. none of them really were like super amazingly fabulous. They were just kind of like, they would sometimes give you results, but then you would get results that were like porn results or results that were completely off target or off track. So anyway, that's a sample of some of the old-fashioned search engines. A lot of us know the modern search engines, right? And so a lot of us use Google. In fact, about 70%, actually it's more like between 80 and 90% now of us use Google. If you're on a mobile phone, it's going to be more like 90-95% of people are using Google. If you're on a desktop or tablet, maybe 70-80% are going to be using Google, and the rest is Bing and Yahoo and maybe Ask. But there are other search engines as well besides that. Really though, I would say that Google is kind of like your main, the thing you want to be looking at here. So let me, there's an interesting thing I want to show you here. Interesting tool. You can type Wayback Machine. So if you ever want to just have some fun and look at the internet as it was, go to Wayback Machine, or it's archive.org, and you can actually put in any site in here. So let's look at google.com from back to 1998. This was actually Google when it first showed up, November 11th, 98. I can click on this little bubble here and open it in a new tab. And this was Google as it showed up initially. So this was the phototype, and it looks like it wasn't even live at this point. So I can flip maybe this one. So each one of these things are a little snapshot of what Google looked like. And you can look at this with any website. And so here's one, Google Beta. So search the web using Google. The Google search, I'm feeling lucky. So you can see it changing over time. If we want to go over to 2001, you can really just look at Google from 2001. So anyway, pretty interesting how all of that kind of has changed over time and grown. So just wanted to show you that interesting tool, and we'll be doing a lot more interesting training going forward. But just wanted to start out with some of the basic things today with, what is a search engine? How do they work? And a lot of this is going to be just real basic kind of stuff. And then in the future, we'll be going through the history of the search engines, and we'll be going to sort of how they work, or much more about like specifically how to get websites to the top of Google. So pay attention, and we'll keep doing these trainings. If you have any questions, just as always, just leave a quick comment below the video. And I'll just answer your question directly. Thanks a lot, and I appreciate you watching.